Hey there, I figured I would just try going straight to Facebook Live because Zoom was not having it right now. I guess a lot of people are online and therefore trying to go through a secondary program just wasn't happening. So enjoy my sort of spooky lights. I'm not going to turn them on because when I was doing the green screen, they look kind of weird. But I guess since we're not doing green screen today, we can do this. So let me. So you can have a little bit of fun with my holiday lights. But see, now they just look kind of like bright and you can't see anything because, well, computer low end camera and all. And I was going to get all dressed up for you, but that ain't happening. So I thought I'd sport a cute hat. Now, the thing I notice now is when you go live, you don't get to see people's reactions and stuff. I just know somebody's watching, and it's not me because I'm not logged in on my phone. So I don't know if the comments pop up on the side here or what. So and I just will just get started, I guess. Because I tried doing rooms before, and what I was finding was people were basically saying they either couldn't get into the room or they were just, I don't know, it just, I couldn't find a way to talk to them and like be on screen and at the same time be, you know, kind of keeping the conversation going. I wanted interaction, and I like it better when there's actually people interacting with me. But let me see, maybe I can pop open a duplicate tab and have it silent and I can look to see if people are commenting. I'm just not sure how to make this work to everyone's advantage, but I think it's only fair that I try to make it so that folks can see this. I like to record stuff if there's a good segment and I can save it for later. Or let's say I want to do a screen share. I don't know if I can screen share on here. It looks like I am not allowed to, but it shows that there is a start screen share option. So maybe you have to do it at the very beginning. Hard to say. But I will say that I'm always learning. And let's see. Okay, I do see the comments on the left. That's great. Then I don't have to have an extra tab open. But it is still a little bit weird. I just wanted to see the square big enough so I could see what I was doing. Because I'll be using a mirror down here to kind of make sure I don't poke my eye out with product. This is going to be a makeup tutorial along with just general advice. Sherry, since you're on, if you have any questions, like how do you prep your face before putting on Halloween makeup? Should you be going to a party and you're doing up your face in particular with, maybe a full face of makeup? Have you ever had a problem with putting it on, taking it off, quality of the products? Go ahead, shout it out to me. Tell me your pains and your troubles, and I will see what I can do to give you some advice and pointers. But I'll tell you one thing, when in doubt, primer. Primer, primer, primer. In case Mary Kay Foundation Primer. Again, lighting is going to be a little funny. If I lower this down, it might become too dim, but maybe I'll switch to amber. All right, that doesn't seem to wash me out. So our Mary Kay Foundation Primer, you can see we're a dark shirt today, and my little ghosty pin and my Mary Kay pin and my little pumpkins, they have bells, so if you hear jingling, you're not imagining it. This primer is probably the best basic to get you going with any makeup, whether you're just doing regular eye makeup with foundation or you're doing something special with like colors and crazy designs. I've seen people use fishnets to make fish scale pattern on their face. I've seen people draw like Day of the Dead skeletons. I've seen people make cute little deers. Lots of different things. I will be using a finishing spray at the end, although some people use it partway through to lock in their makeup and then again at the end, because I don't know how, she's asking a question about a product we have called finishing spray, which of course I have right here. I'll be using it later. What I love about it is it actually helps keep your face from melting off. If you've ever watched Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom and their faces melt off, that's sort of the image I have in my head. It was originally designed to help women who are dealing with hot flashes during menopause. You spray it on the back of your neck, and it was supposed to help keep you from like literally sweating like crazy. So considering how hot it gets down in Texas, I can see why they developed a product like this to keep your makeup from melting off. I think that's a very good question. Now I've learned if you spray your brush with finishing spray before applying eye color, it actually sets it brighter. Now, I'm old school. Even though these are the Chroma Fusion colors that I'm demoing tonight, they don't need primer. I'm old school, and I like eye primer too because it's white and it brightens the surface of the eye so that you can see the colors better. It's like the difference between using yellow paper as a kid in school, or white paper when you had to write in color and do all those assignments for class? I used to have that yellow paper with the blue lines, but they look kind of green because, you know, yellow and blue make green. And later on, when you got a little older, they give you the white paper with the blue lines, and I always thought that looked cooler. Let's see here. Replying to Sherry. Interesting, you didn't know that. Well, yeah, you learn some weird things from the sales directors because they hear all this cool stuff during their trainings and they kind of pass it down. So pick sales director's brain. I'm not one, but I know enough of them. So I know you know some other consultants. That's why I'm making that mention. And I'm just digging out other products that I like to use. I, personally, need to draw in my eyebrows a little. And this is simply because over time, I have overplucked. So I use our dark brunette. I always get the name of this wrong. I think it's like perfecting precision brow liner. And basically it's a teeny tiny point, very teeny tiny. Trying to get it so you can see. But the idea is hence precision. But I'm going to use the mirror down here so I don't mess it up. And I'm just going to do little lines, just to fill in the gaps. And this is the reason I do this. I'm framing my face first before I'm doing eyes before I do foundation. I found that if I forget to put the primer on, I'll kick myself. So I put the primer on, and then I stop and I do my brows and my eyes, and then I go back to do the rest of the face. And this is so we don't have to worry about eyeshadow fallout. They have these in all different colors. They're really, really easy to use. And I personally love that they have the product, have it, because I used to use the old brow pencils and you have to sharpen them, and they did not always perform as well as you would like them to. You know, they left something to be desired. So there are other primers like lip primer and lash primer, which I'll get into lash primer later. I'm just pulling aside the things that I've used so they don't clutter up the bag. Now, I'm going to be doing the Stormy eye look. If you were doing something special, you might have to prep, like I'm going to do my dark circle eye area. But you have redness, we can use the green crayon. Actually, I should grab it because I'm a little flushed today because I've got the heat on in my house because it snowed. So the office is a little warm. So if you can hang on just a second, I'm going to grab the green corrective pen. Just had a tutorial with Lori Hogg, famous makeup artist and Mary Kay guru. And she pointed out a couple of things about these corrective crayons. That's why I stockpiled them, because I knew they'd come in handy. So I just pulled out some of my... I don't use this one, so I'm pulling the demo. So what I'll end up doing at the end is cutting off the tip. But for redness, you use the green pencil, and you can see I cut off the tip before. And you put some stripes and you blend. So if you have your beauty blender, you can use that. If you don't, you can use your fingers. This is supposed to cut down on redness. It's a color correction. If you know your color color wheel, you know that red and green balance each other out. Can you see a difference? Yep. I don't normally get red, but this is sort of I cranked up the thermostat because I tend to be hypothyroid. I don't know how many of you know this. It's cancer awareness, breast cancer awareness specifically. Hey, Allie, good to see you, girl. And so I tend to run cold. I'm hypothyroid because my thyroid was removed because it had cancer, and we don't want to keep cancer around. I've learned that the purple pencil is good for dull areas. Now, I don't have a ton of yellow because I'm more of an olive undertone, but I've just been finding out it can kind of brighten, strange as that sounds. So I'm thinking of where am I kind of shadowy? I'm going to prep those areas with this. Now again, if you're going for a ghoulish look for Halloween, you do not want to correct. But normally, you would. So these are the areas that maybe I want a little bit brighter. Like where would the light hit my face? I would want to, well, we're going to get a flash bulb. So you're giving yourself highlights, basically. Now again, I have to keep looking down at my mirror down here to see what the heck I'm doing. But that's okay. Now, I'm going to go back to the eyes and then I'll finish my face. But I did want to make sure I said hello to anyone who popped on because I thank you. And we're still trying to get above 5. Like, we really are trying to get above 5. Because then I can pick a hostess. Because the whole point of Mystery Hostess was to get enough people on to see that you don't need to have 20 friends to have a party. You just need to find 2 or 3 friends and buddy up. I thought that was kind of good. So I'm going to start with the under eye corrector for me. As you can see, I've got dark circles, but they're not bags. They're just dark coloration. The skin is so thin and delicate, you gotta go easy on it. So I use the under eye corrector. It's kind of a peachy color. And I'll put a couple dots. I gotta look again what I'm doing so I don't hurt myself. Yes, thou shalt not maim myself. And what I'm gonna do with these is I have a brush I use. It's the old liquid brush. I use one for lipstick and I have one for other products. So I use this to stipple and kind of pat it in. We're not dragging it across the eye. We're trying to kind of conceal the darkish area. Now I could use a concealer. I could mix the two together on the back of my hand and then put it on if I really had some issues. But for today, we're just going to do this. And again, I know when I look down, you can't see my face and the lighting sucks down here. So I moved my circle light up based on Allie's suggestion above my laptop. That seems to be a little better. I got like a flyaway hair too. So this isn't meant to completely erase. It's just meant to brighten. And later on, when I put CC cream, it'll make more sense. Right now, it's like, whoa, what did she do? That could be funny if you were trying to be a ghost. And like earlier when I was doing the eyebrows, I usually soften that look by combing through on the spoolie brush of the brush set. And I can tell you more about brushes individually if that's something you want to know. I can tell you how to draw your eyebrow if you want to know that, but I wasn't going to go into that level of detail unless it was needed. So now I'm going to play with the 3 basic brushes I like from our essential brush set. We have more, but we basically have, all right, as I drop it, the eyeshadow brush, kind of flat and wide. See that there? We have the angle brush or crease brush. I've worn away the words, but you can kind of see this one has an angle to it. And then finally, I love to use our smudger brush, which is kind of round and dome-shaped, if you give it that. So, yeah, thank you, Allie. And I know we're not doing virtual today, hence the lights and the pumpkins, but I am a Halloween girl even when I can't go out and there is no trick-or-treating and there's no candy. I'm probably better off not having the candy, but so when we talked about this Stormy eye look, you might notice, wow, there's like a contrast, big time. I see this and I think smoky eye. So what I'm going to do is put this lightest color across the whole eyelid, the whole damn thing. Just like we did the primer, we're going to do that light color across the whole lid. Now make sure your brushes were clean because otherwise you'll be smearing some other color all across your eyelid. And again, I like this brush because I can clean it between uses. I have extras. And you're going to say, I can't see anything. Well, that's because you're not supposed to see anything. This is just your light color. Sometimes you put the light color just along the brow bone, but this is one of those exceptions where I'm trying to do something very specific. Now, the next color down, I'm using the same brush, but just the tip, and I'm doing just the lower lid, and I'm going to work it up from the lash line up so it gets softer and lighter as we go. Now, I'm going to go over this with the smudger later. That you'll get it more then. So the idea is that it's kind of like smoke rising from a fire. Campfire or whatever. So I don't necessarily need to go heavy duty, but now you can kind of see the 2 different colors. When in doubt, blending. I tell you, can't blend enough. Now I'm going to use the crease color brush because I am going to put this blue kind of in the corner, but I'm also going to use the same trick of bringing it up. And then I'll be using the end of the spoolie brush, which is the one I used earlier. It has a really flat edge. I'll show you in a minute. And that I'll do along the lash line and then smudge it all up. So the intent is I put dark colors in the corner because I have a deep set eye. And if I put it too low, it makes my eyeball look like it's sunken in. So we're trying to get, now as I said, I can't use a computer screen too long because then I can't see what I'm really doing. So I'm doing this so you can see it for your benefit. And I'm using it kind of at a wide angle across the lower part. So I'm kind of making this weird dragged across like a highlighter. You have the chisel shape. You can either make a wide line or thin line. I'm using a wide line across that lower corner, but we're going to smudge the heck out of this. We're going to blend this a lot. so it won't be that dark forever. But I want that corner to be bluish. And I'm bringing it only about halfway. I'm not going beyond that because I personally find it makes my eyes look closed and smaller. Now, if you're going for that, like a skeleton with the dark circled out, that's different. If you're doing it to be fantasy, sexy, let's see, firefighter, cop, fill in the blank, girl in a bikini with some kind of badge stuck to it, claiming to be a profession, I think those costumes are ridiculous, especially in New England where it's so damn cold. But I've gone to costume parties where I've worn thin, flimsy costumes, not see-through and not cutaway, but just not high quality, and I know how cold it gets, so I wouldn't recommend that. But to each their own. So I'm going to match this eye on the left. I'm just going to do it quickly in the mirror so that I don't take as long talking. And you will notice that one eye comes out better than the other. It's a handedness thing. Don't feel bad. We all have that problem. Now we've got that dark, dark color, and I'm going to grab this little brush. As I said, you saw me use the spool end earlier. Well, guess what? It's got another end. This is the eyebrow tool. It has got a really thin, how do I do this? Use my body as a contrast, but see how thin that is? Yeah, that's a thin brush. So the idea is I'm going to use this in lieu of eyeliner. I mean, I'll go back later, but I want to do this in the place I would put eyeliner, right across the bottom. Very thin line. And I could even do this on the lower lash line too if I wanted to. Now I'm not doing it in the eye, I'm doing it just near the lashes. I'm right-handed, so one eye always comes out better, but no matter what, I try my best to make it look like you can't tell. And when I'm working on someone else for their wedding or special occasion, it definitely comes out better. Now, I could go have a lot of fun by adding on like false lashes and stuff. I'm not going to do that today. I just wanted to let you know you have options. Now, if you're doing a costumey type look and you do want to put on false lashes, I would make sure you've done all your eye makeup and blended all of it out, curled your lashes, and then add the adhesive, and then add your lashes, and then recrimp them. And if you're going to do mascara, I guess you kind of have to wait and do it after you've put on the false lashes, but make sure you're not yanking them off. Like, that's a little tricky. I'm not sure how to explain that. So I'm coming back now. Before I touch any other color products, I'm just going to use this to blend. So I'm looking down because I need my mirror. This is not going to work if I don't. And I'm just going to blend that line that we had earlier. Pardon me. And blend the blue. So it's not smoky straight up. It's kind of smoky going this way. Because that's just my personal style. But I'm blending the black and I'm blending the blue across the gray and up into that lighter color. But not so much that I get just black. It can get a little smudgy sometimes, a little muddy sometimes. I may go back and touch up the blue. But I want it to have a softer, smokier look. Yeah, I feel like I got a little muddy there. Not a big deal. We can clean the brush. I have brush cleaner. Just bear with me a moment. This is why I didn't actually add extra black, because I knew it would come out way too dark if I did that. The intent is to have kind of this look, like, stormy out. Clouds are rolling through. A little bit of moonlight peeking through. Yeah, this side I did a better job. So I'll go back and touch up the other eye with a little bit more of the blue. Now that I know I can get away with it. This is where I'll use that trick of spraying the brush with the blue. But I'm going to use the smudger with the blue after spraying it with finishing spray. Hey guys. Oh, I have magnetic lashes too, Allie. You should have seen me do a demo video that a while ago. So this is just me locking in what I've got. And now we're actually going to spray the brush before I touch it to the blue. So it's going to be a little weird, but trust me, it works. It looks really good when you use it with like a shiny. These are mostly matted colors, but it really looks good with shiny colors. So now the blue is going to be really intense. You'll see in a minute. Just trust me. And I'm going to go back over this area first because this is the one I had over smudged, I think, the black. So now we're putting the blue back in. And I may have to clean it up with a foundation brush. But see how much more intense that blue is? Compared to the other side. So yeah, I do have to do a little cleanup. Foundation brushes are great for that. I'm trying not to spray myself in the eyeball with the spray. Now the nice thing is the Chroma Fusion colors last for like 18 hours. They're very strong. And the other nice thing is they don't need primer. I think I mentioned that earlier. But they they don't crinkle or crease or dry out. You know how sometimes you get eye color and it's dry and icky and flaky and yucky? Yeah, I definitely have to treat that. But the nice thing also is I can kind of cheat and use foundation like an eraser. Have you ever had to do that? And if not, trust me, it's a great trick. So I've got a couple of different foundation brushes. I'm probably going to just use this guy, although I have the old style foundation brush, which is thinner. And so I'm going to use my CC cream as opposed to my foundation to kind of clean things up, because I don't want to do something so thick and so heavy that I can't recover from it later. And this is going to be the CC cream I'm going to be using later on my face anyhow. But I've got a different brush I could use. So I'm going to just stipple it there. Stipple it there. And then I'm going to go get that corrector brush and go through this. The brush wants to roll. I'll be holding that in my other hand. So now we're going to take this guy and we're going to use this to kind of clean up. Remember we talked about fallout. Poof, all that goo is gone. And I'm going to do the same thing over here by flipping the brush over. And we're just kind of covering up and cleaning up a little bit excess that I might have got in my eye area. And I'm going to have to probably go through here a little too, because why I waited. I didn't want it to be too severe. So you definitely see the blue, the gray, the Stormy, the actual color called Stormy. Because I remember that was one of the colors in the palette. So I might go back over this with the lighter colors. But the idea is that now I've got this dark, mysterious look. And now we're going to, go to town with the CC cream on my face. And then a little foundation. Where did I put the CC cream? Yeah, you can learn some really great stuff if you hang around me long enough, Allie, and I'm sure Sherry might also know some of these, because I met her in a networking event, and she's a beauty consultant as well, but she's still kind of new, so I'm always happy to share all of my tips with everyone. So remember how I use the red to counteract the redness? CC cream also balances out redness, and usually when I'm not in a very warm room, which is why I was extra red tonight, or if I'd gone out shoveling snow, I'm usually like this. Very not red. I have a lot of green to counteract any red. Let's leave it at that. So, for me, I find that CC cream is sufficient and that I don't need the correcting pens, but I have them. And I showed them off just so you could see them. And remember how I used the purple to brighten up the nose here and here? I don't have much of a shadow now, do I? And that's not lighting. That's just a little bit of correcting pen. I'll show those again if you'd like, because I know you came in a few minutes behind. But I'm a OCD-ish, and I like to finish where I start. So let me finish the CC cream, and I can show you those. And then I can go back with foundation. I didn't do my mascara and my eyeliner yet, but that's because I wanted you to see how well it cleaned up the under eye area. No shadow, no blue or black makeup. That was a concern I had. I don't usually do, a blue palette much, or grays, because I'm always concerned that that's going to happen. And we don't want that necessarily. So I'm going to take a minute to put some things down, do a little spritz. Again, finishing spray, you can do a couple of layers. The color correcting pencils we talked about earlier. This is the green. I've chopped off the top because I've used it before for demo. Great for correcting for red. And this other one is for kind of yellow dullness. It's a purple. So I used a little bit on my finger and just kind of put it on the spot. So that's what these guys are all about. And now I am going to go back and do the rest of the eye area, because we said we're going to do eyeliner, and I need my mirror for this, so bear with me. If you hear meowing, that is my little guy, Boris. He is thinking it's dinner time, which he is accurate. It's about 2 minutes before dinner time for him. So I don't know if you're seeing, I'm doing really close to the lash line. I'm stopping about halfway. I'm not going all the way in. And again, don't want to make my eyeballs look small. Now I'm going to put a wing in because this is supposed to be dramatic. I don't have any advice. I don't use a special tool. I just follow my own eye line. We want an upward line, not a downward line. So that's what I've been doing, and that seems to work. No matter how I do it, one eye always looks a little weird. And this is our waterproof liquid eyeliner. It's basically a Sharpie, but oh, great. Nice, really nice point to it. Nice and fine. I love that. I mean, the other one was just as fine. It wasn't waterproof. Now, let's see. We mentioned mascara primer. White, kind of soft, threaded. So I just comb through real quick. The idea is to put on the mascara while the stuff is still wet. And I will answer that later. It's just a message. So for everyone who's still watching, this is the Panorama mascara we've talked about before. And again, this one's a little tricky to see, but you can see one side's flat and one side's kind of curvy. We start with the curvy. Now, we don't make demo wands with this shape, unfortunately, which kind of defeats the point. So most people bought it because it was limited edition. I'm blinking into this so I don't poke myself in the eye. But some people like wiggle through, leave it more with the lower lashes. And then you can roll it to the flat side to get an extra coating. Now, I have not touched this into the bottle again. This is just the same. I'm just using every little bit of it as much as I can. So I kind of sit there and kind of spin it. I was a lab tech. I've got this wonderful dexterity when it comes to little things. I drop stuff all the time, but I can rotate and cap things really nicely. And again, almost cut myself in the eyeball because I'm using the computer instead of the mirror. And we just push and twist. We never pump. We don't churn butter. We don't add more air to that mascara. It's only got about a life of 3, maybe 6 months max once you've opened it. I'd say if you use a lot, 3 months. If you're not using a lot, 6 months, because bacteria is using this as a little home to party in. We don't want that. We want to minimize that. But you can see, oh, I forgot to point out the best part. If you need to, this thing, the reason called a panorama, the tip is rounded, so you can go through and comb out the clumpy. And this is the Lash Love formula. So if you didn't like lash intensity, but you still want lashes, now, it's hard to see because, of course, I used a thicker eyeliner line. But you can still see that I'm wearing mascara along with this dramatic look. I think this side came out a little bit better. So we'll do another spritz. And did I need to answer that? Nope. Missed call. Well, leave a message. So I'm just going to touch up with a little bit of the foundation. I am a beige N200 or beige neutral 200. That's because I do tend to tan when I'm out in the sun. I don't burn, and I don't stay the exact same color either. So if you were a color changer, you'd probably be a cool, and if you were never changes ever, you're a warm. Neutral, sort of that halfway between. And this is just because this is our Time-Wise 3D foundation. It actually is telematch, in telematch, which means it helps match to me. Now, granted, I did put on CC cream, but we matched this without CC cream when I first bought it. And yes, I know winter time we're lighter and summer we're darker, but you know, the thing to keep in mind is that you want a foundation that matches you, so that when you go from your cheekbone to your jaw to your neck, you're the same color. You haven't turned a different color. You're not Snooki with an orange face. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I missed a spot. Wait a second. Okay. But doesn't that give me a really nice finish? Now, granted, it's not a high-end camera, but the way I look at it is it's not a filter either. Let me get a little closer. Very nice, flawless finish, and that's because I used the primer earlier. Even though it's not required, I think it's a good call. Now, you might notice I haven't really finished my face. That's because I always like to save blush for last. I have 1 or 2 favorite go-to colors. I'm just going to grab one of them today. I do have the cheek stick. I could, actually, you know what? Why don't I use the cheek stick while we still have those? Limited edition, but these things were fun. They're duo colors. One is called Pink and Glimmer, and the other is called Mauve and Shimmer. So one's darker, one's lighter. And let me take the cap off so you get a little less glare. You can see they're two-tone color. Oh, where's the camera? Yeah, that brightness is not helping, but you can kind of see, sort of. Reminds me of those lollipops that have the 2 different colors. I'm probably going to use the darker one just because there's more contrast. Yeah, you can see that much better on camera. And also, I'm a little bit darker complexion, so I can get away with it. So I'm going to be putting the dark color here. Yes, I know, it looks like a really bad 80s poster. I have to blend still. So now that I've striped my cheeks, I'm going to take a regular brush to blend, blend, and blend. Because it's like powder. Again, I probably should have kept the mirror handy. Don't mind me. I'm not exactly great at doing tutorials, but I try. So I like to blend out the light color first, right along the cheekbone. Usually we go about from the temple, but no lower than the earlobe, and usually no closer than 2 fingers to the nose. And that's kind of the zone I go for. So it's a little bit of an angle. And I always finish in a downward motion. See how nicely that blends out? It almost disappears completely, but there's color there. And it's a little shimmery, but it's not super shimmery. Now I've seen people use that as lip color and eye color. I did a demo of that. It did not come out great, but then again, I need a little practice with that particular technique. Oh, the brush set, in case you're wondering. And we do carry that little mini 3 brush set for the holidays. I've mentioned that before. I'll probably mention it again. It's a great add-on if you're buying someone this little palette for a gift and you want to round it out with the brushes. I think that's a cool idea. So now all I have to do is lips, and this look is done. Which, again, I probably don't need a mirror for that part. We have all these awesome lip glosses and lip colors. So I think I'm going to use one of our new lip glosses, because why not? And there's so many to choose from. I don't know if you're still paying attention. Would you pick, for this look, this is a quiz, would you pick a dark color, or would you pick something lighter and a little less? Now I'm going to put a hat on because I think that light behind me is getting to be a little obnoxious. Also, this is going to be the finish in about, what, 2 minutes? We're almost done. So I could do like a bright red, I could do a deep purple, I could do a hot pink, I could do a soft pink or something glittery. If you were picking out for me a lip color to go with this Stormy look, you know, the hat's not happening. I give up. I was trying to be a little extra special for Halloween. We've got all these awesome, awesome, awesome colors. Trying to pull them out without making a mess. That's not happening. It's making a mess. All right, these are all of the lip glosses. I've demoed these before too, but I got so many lip glosses here. So my question for you would be, bright or soft? And I'll tell you what I think in a minute, but I'm curious what you think. I drop them on the floor. And there's also the choice of shimmer versus not shimmery. So feedback is appreciated. I see at least one person's on, so what do you think? Which direction do you think I should go with the lip gloss? Those cats are getting hungry. I can only be on for another minute. So Sherry says light lips with dark eye. Okay, I personally agree with that, but I am curious. Allie, what would you think? And I see a third person's on, but I don't know who it is. So mystery person, if you were picking a lip color to go with this look, what direction would you go? Would you go bright? Would you go glittery? Would you go dark? What say you? Now I got these in some kind of order. Well, I've only gotten the one suggestion, so I'm going to go with the lighter lip. And that probably is going to rule out 3 or 4 colors, so I'm sliding those aside. In the warm tones, we have, and I really need my glasses for these. Why don't they write them on the side? That would help so much. These stickers are impossible. Beach Bronze. And this one's called Sheer Illusion. So we've got kind of 2 shimmery colors that are in the lighter family. A glitter nude. So yeah, that might be a possibility here. I'm going to skip all the hot pinks and reds. We've got my classic Standby Fancy Nancy. So I'm going to do this if they'll stay. So you can kind of see the colors as we go through them. We've got Sheer Illusion. Please stay. Fancy Nancy. Beach Bronze. And then we have some not so shimmery colors. You can see here. This one has a little glitter. It is called Pink Ballerina, or Ballerina Pink. And I'm running out of spaces in front of the camera. These things are wobbling a lot. I knew that was going to happen. I should find my lipstick caddy and have used that to stand these up for you. But for now, we're just going to hold them. So these are 4 possibilities And then we have some non-shimmery ones here, which are, if you give me a second, I will read them to you. Soft Nude, Nude Blush, and it's upside down. Unique Mauve. So we got some nudes and a mauve, and then we got these guys. Beach Bronze. Okay, we're narrowing it down. And my desk must be like uneven or something, because these things are rolling like there's no tomorrow. So that would be this color here. We're going to do Beach Bronze. Glittery. Alright, let's give this a shot. Now these are the demos with the new special Deerfoot applicators. They're a little longer, and let me see again if I can get a good angle on this. See, it's almost like a ballerina pointing her toe. You can tell I've hardly used this one because there's no color on it. Now this one's I think one of the more sheer colors, and I do not have anything on here but lip primer. Yeah, you definitely need to go a couple of coats with this. And you could even get away with wearing like a color underneath and then topping with a glitter. But I think that's, yeah, probably a good call. So yeah, I would say the Beach Bronze was a good call. Let me try the hat one more time. I really wanted to wear my rhinestone cowgirl hat. I mean, like the song. Plus, it hides the hair. And if I were handing out candy, this is probably what I'd be wearing, because there's no sense in me dressing up any fancier than that. So thank you again for tuning in. It's about 7:40. I know we started a few minutes late. I wanted to try to keep it around 30 minutes. I really do appreciate your participation, and of course, just the fact that you watched, that made me feel awesome. Because I want to keep doing these, but I need to know that people are going to be paying attention, and it's going to be worth their time. If for future note, you can think of somebody or somebodies, plural, that would have fun with this. I'm going to be doing the holiday shop and sip next week because we had so many issues technically. Last week I couldn't get on at 7. That was not you guys' fault, it was mine. So I want to try to do a do-over, if you will, and that will be kind of a preview of like when I did the unboxing. But now it's going to be me showing the products wrapped up and ready to go, giving you ideas about putting them together. It's kind of like accumulation of the holiday tips I've been doing, but in one 30-minute block. And the idea is this: if you can get some friends on, they can get some of their holiday shopping done, which would be nice, and maybe earn some free product by being the hostess. Just a thought. As I said, mystery hostess. If 5 people are on, one of them gets drawn as a hostess. Just because. It's my way of incentivizing people to show up and stay. And I think that's kind of a fun way to earn some free stuff without having to find 20, 15, whatever people yourself. Because that can be kind of intimidating, and everyone's got parties going on. I've already been to a Pampered Chef and a Newsborn book show. So I myself have been a participant in some of these things, and I get it. You only have so much money to go around. You want to help everyone. You got only so many people to shop for gifts. And then eventually you're done. Some people just do it for the social aspect. And that's the other thing. You know, your friends don't have to shop. I hope maybe 1 or 2 of them do. But that's not the point. The point is giving me exposure so that people know I exist. And that they can turn to me if they need me for help. That's really what it's about. It's advertising, it's marketing. It's like a TV commercial, but it's a long commercial or an infomercial. The difference is I'm not going to end up cutting myself with the Cutco super duper knife or trying to sell you something while wearing a blue shirt. I usually wear my beauty coat or something really cute like I am tonight. And it's just meant to be entertainment, fun, just that kind of thing. I don't think anyone should be feeling any kind of pressure or obligation. You know me, I'm not that kind of salesperson. I'd rather you learn something useful and take it home with you, like how to do the look. Maybe you do it with different colors, but it's the technique more than anything. And also, don't forget, our oil-free eye makeup remover is a great way to get makeup off. Also, our pre-treated washcloths, they come like in an 18-pack. They have a little bit of soap on them. If you wet those down and use that to kind of pre-wash off the heavy makeup, the eye makeup remover for the eye area, and then your basic, like Mary Kay Time-Wise 3D cleanser to get the rest of it off, you will find that your pores are very happy when you go to bed after that party because you'll clean your face beautifully and you won't have all this extra makeup stuck to your face. Just promise me you don't fall asleep with your makeup on Halloween night. You've probably already been eating candy and drinking booze and having a good time partying, so your skin is going to be not in great shape the next day. So a little bit of TLC, a little bit of pampering before you go to bed will make your skin very happy. Maybe the next day you pull out your hydrogel eye patches and you put them on. I learned a little trick. You put a couple here, You put a couple up here, and you put a couple down here, and you kind of cover half your face in hydrogel patches. That's another Lori Hogg hack. I mean, our biocellulose lifting mask is amazing, but not everyone has it on hand, whereas you get like tons of those eye gel patches in a little jar. And I know I've given away a few of those from this website before, so you've gotten your hands on them. And I also think it's kind of fun to multi-mask. If you've never done that, it's fun to try, especially after having put all that stuff on your face and now your pores are like begging for some attention. We got a gel mask. We have the charcoal mask, which is kind of a cleansing mask. It pulls a lot of the impurities and dirt and crud out of your pores. There is also a chemical peel. I think it's a glycolic acid peel, which is great for getting off dead skin and getting some of the crud off your face as well. Just pick one. Don't try to do them all. Your face will not be able to handle that. Very few people can do all of them. But the idea is give yourself a little treat the next day. I mean, you get to push the clock back an hour. There's an hour for you to sleep in or pamper yourself. You pick. I'm going to be pampering myself because I'm an early bird and I can't help it but wake up. Plus, the cats are going to wake me and need to be fed. I can't get around that one. But either way, and other than that, just want to say thank you for popping in. I hope to see some of you guys on Saturday when I do my holiday shopping tips at 3. And if I don't, I'll be back again on Tuesday for my next Tip Tuesday in the afternoon. It's actually election day, so remember to vote. I'm not going to tell you which side, just whoever, vote for. Do your thing if you haven't done early balloting. And also Tuesday is my 8th anniversary, so I will have limited time on Facebook because I hope to spend some of it with my husband celebrating my anniversary and not being glued to the TV to find out what the election results are, because I have a feeling it's going to be a day or two before we really know the end result anyway. So, that's it for me. I will see you guys soon. Yes, silly cat alarms. They either pin you down on the bed and can't let you get up to go to the bathroom, or they are in your face, pawing on your chest and licking your nose to wake you up and go, "Feed me, Seymour." I figured that was appropriate because, it is Halloween weekend. If you have not seen Little Shop of Horrors, it's a little gross in places, whether you see the original or the remake, but it is a hoot. You can sing along if you like sing-alongs. And that's what I always think of when I look at my cats. It's like the big mouth going, "Feed me." But they're actually wonderful little cats. And, in case you haven't been paying attention, please, if you see a little black cat and it does not look like it has a home, just for 24 hours, keep it somewhere safe. Halloween is a really strange thing. People do some bad things to some really innocent animals, and black cats tend to get the brunt of it. Folks will adopt them from the pet store a week before because they realize now that a day or so before the pet stores know. Or if you find that a cat has just had a litter of kittens, just protect that little guy, because I don't know about you, black cats should not get the rap. They should not get the rap they have been given. They're not bad. They're not evil. They're just black, I know my cats are gray, and they're indoor cats, and we keep them inside, and they have like a RFID chip and a tile, so we can always find them. But I always hear these horror stories, and being a cat lover, I just want to point out my friend Allie, I know has cats. I don't recall, Sherry, if you do. Please, if you happen to notice, keep the little guy safe for 24 hours. Drop him off to a vet if you have to, or a shelter, animal shelter. But just so that that poor cat doesn't get grabbed and something bad happened to it. That's my little PSA. All right, have yourself a safe and fun, happy Halloween. All Saints Day if you celebrate it. All Souls Day if you celebrate it. And I will definitely catch you guys next time. Bye.